Hello everyone, this is Brandon the Beard, and welcome to another Dungeons & Dragons character build video. Today we're doing another Overwatch build, and this is one I've been wanting to do since quarantine began. Zenyatta, the monk made of junk who perceived himself to have a soul. He's basically Wally. Has anyone else made this connection yet? For stats, we're just going to focus on what is going to be most important. Our chief stat is going to be Wisdom, followed by Dexterity. Next, we're going to do Charisma. Normally, I would do Constitution, but I wanted to stick with something a little bit more character flavor specific. Zenyatta's a religious guy, and religious guys like to tell people about their religion. Excuse me, sir, do you have a moment to talk about Tekhartha? So after Charisma, we're going to do Constitution. Intelligence, it's going to be a little low, but we just don't need it for anything. Finally, we're just going to dump Strength. Let Reinhardt and the other tanks take the damage for you. For race, Zenyatta is classified as an Omnic, and in D&D we would call that a Warforged. You get +2 to your Constitution, and +1 to a stat of your choice. I personally went with Wisdom. You can go with anything else if your Wisdom is high enough, or if something else is just in an odd number that you want to even out. Constructed Resilience gives you advantage on saving throws against being poisoned. You're resistant to poison damage, immune to disease. You don't need to eat, drink, breathe, or sleep. But wait, how do you long or short rest without sleep? Well, that's what Sentry's Rest is for. You spend a minimum of 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state where you appear inert, but you still remain conscious. In this way, you receive the benefits of a long rest. Integrated Protection gives you +1 to your AC, and you incorporate armor into your body so it can't be removed against your will. Zenyatta doesn't wear armor, but that +1 is going to be useful. Specialized Design gives you proficiency with a skill and tool of your choice. I took Persuasion and Calligrapher's Supplies, because when I think about monks and tools, calligraphy is the first thing that comes to mind. For background, go with the Cloistered Scholar from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. You get proficiency in history and religion, 2 free languages, and the library access feature in case you and your party need more scholarly information. We're going to kick things off as a monk. Grab acrobatics and stealth from the monk skill list. For starting equipment suggestions, I would recommend taking a dagger and the Dungeoneer's pack. I originally wanted to go with starting wealth instead, but those equipment packs tend to be more useful even if you don't need the rations. Since Zenyatta doesn't wear armor, he gets the monk's unarmored defense, making his AC 10 plus his wisdom and dexterity modifiers. And to give as well as you take, you get martial arts, which lets your unarmed strikes or any attack with a monk weapon add your dexterity modifier for attack and damage rolls instead of strength. And that damage roll can be the weapon's original die or your martial arts die, which is currently a D4. Speaking of unarmed strikes, you can also make one as a bonus action when you make any attack. We'll be doing a fair bit of multi-classing in this build, but if you feel like something could have been done differently, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to take suggestions. Let's now dip our toes into Ranger. For proficiency with a new skill, I took Perception. Taking the Deft Explorer option from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, we get the Canny benefit, which gives us 2 more languages and double proficiency in one of our already proficient skills. We just got Perception from dipping into Ranger, so let's go with Perception. Replacing Favored Enemy from the player's handbook is Favored Foe. When you hit a creature with an attack, it is marked for 1 minute or until you lose concentration. While it's marked, you add 1d4 to the first attack you hit with on each of your turns. You can use this marking ability a number of times per long rest, equal to your proficiency bonus. Second level Rangers get 2 things. First, a fighting style from the new Ranger list. Go with Thrown Weapon Fighting to make drawing a thrown weapon and throwing a thrown weapon all part of the same action, and gain +2 to damage rolls with that weapon. Zenyatta's little floating balls aren't really sharp, but for now we can use darts as a throwing weapon. Rangers also get spells. Take Hail of Thorns and Zephyr Strike. At 3rd level, we're going to go back to the player's handbook and take Primeval Awareness. letting you expend a ranger spell slot to sense whether certain types of creatures are within 1 mile for 1 minute. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. We also get a new spell, so take Hunter's Mark for added damage. Finally, we get to choose a ranger archetype. The Hunter from the Player's Handbook gives you a Hunter's Prey feature. I wanted to take Colossus Slayer at first to do as much damage on an opening attack as possible, but for someone who uses thrown weapons primarily, I ended up going with Horde Breaker. When you make a weapon attack, you can make a second attack with the same weapon against a different target if it's within 5 feet of your first target. 4th level rangers get an ability score improvement or a feat. Like all my videos, we're going to talk more about that later on. Level 5 will be our last level for ranger, and here we get our extra attack, letting you attack twice in one action, not including the bonus unarmed strike from martial arts or the second weapon attack from Horde Breaker. That makes 5 attacks in a row. 4 if you're at range. For this level's spells, take Goodberry, Aid, and Lesser Restoration to help your allies. Now we're going to do just a quick dip into Cleric. At first level, Clerics get 3 cantrips and 2 spells. For cantrips, take Guidance, Spare the Dying, and Word of Radiance. For spells, take Cure Wounds and Inflict Wounds. As your Divine Domain, go with the Arcana domain from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. You get 2 domain spells, Magic Missile and Detect Magic. As part of the Arcana domain, you get Arcane Initiate, which lets you pick 2 more cantrips from the wizard list, counting them as cleric cantrips. Take Firebolt and Toll the Dead. Okay, that is it for multiclassing. Now let's come back to Monk. 2nd level monks get their first 2 key points, which can be used for a variety of different techniques as a bonus action. Flurry of Blows lets you make 2 unarmed strikes after making an attack. Patient Defense lets you take the dodge action. Step of the Wind lets you take the disengage or dash action, and also doubles your jump distance for that turn. Since you're unarmored, you also get unarmored movement, adding 10 feet to your movement speed while you're not wearing armor. Zenyatta does not even wear a shirt, and being made of metal doesn't count as being armored. I know I should have made that joke sooner, I just wasn't up for it at the time. 3rd level monks get a variety of options added to their key point techniques. Deflect Missiles lets you give as well as you get, reducing the damage of a ranged weapon attack as a reaction by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier and monk level. If the damage drops to 0, and the projectile is small enough to be held in a free hand, such as a dart, an arrow, or a crossbow bolt, you can spend a key point to throw that projectile back, all as part of the same reaction. Key Fueled Attack lets you make an attack either unarmed or with a monk weapon as a bonus action, if you've already spent 1 or more key points during your regular action. Finally, monks get to choose a monastic tradition level 3, and monks that can hurt and heal at the same time belong to the Way of Mercy. You gain proficiency with Insight, Medicine, and the Herbalism kit. Additional abilities include the Hand of Healing. You spend a key point as an action to touch a creature and heal them an amount equal to a roll of your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. If you are already doing Flurry of Blows, you can use one of the 2 unarmed strikes as a Hand of Healing without the extra key cost. Hand of Harm lets you add necrotic damage to an unarmed strike equal to your martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier at the cost of 1 key point. 4th level monks give us our next ability score improvement. Again, more on that later. Slow Fall lets you reduce falling damage as a reaction by 5 times your monk level. Also at level 4, thanks to Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, is Quickened Healing. Use an action to spend 2 key points and heal an amount equal to a roll of your martial arts die plus your proficiency bonus. Monks at 5th level normally get an extra attack, but since we got it from Ranger, we can't really use it because extra attack doesn't stack. What we do get here is Stunning Strike, where you use a key point as part of a melee attack to force a Constitution saving throw on a creature. If it fails, that creature is stunned until the end of your next turn. We also get Focused Aim, also from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. If you miss an attack roll, you can spend 1 to 3 key points to increase your attack roll by 2 for each key point you spend. That means you can spend 3 key points to give an attack roll +6. Finally, our martial arts die bumps up to a d6, making our attacks and our mercy techniques even stronger. 6th level monks get key empowered strikes, making your unarmed strikes magical. Mercy monks also get the Physician's Touch, which boosts your Hand of Healing and your Hand of Harm. When you use your Hand of Healing, you can also end one disease or condition on that target: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned. For your Hand of Harm, you can actually make a creature poisoned until the end of your next turn. Also, our unarmored movement increases to 15 feet. 7th level monks get Evasion. Whenever you are forced to make a dexterity saving throw, you can instead take no damage on a successful save and half damage on a fail. Next, Stillness of Mind lets you use your action to remove the charmed or frightened effect from yourself. 8th level monks get another ability score improvement or feat. Again, more on that later. 9th level monks get an unarmored movement improvement. Now you can move across liquids and vertical surfaces without falling. 10th level monks achieve Purity of Body. As a Warforged, you already have advantage against being poisoned and resistance to poison damage, but with Purity of Body, you are now immune to poison and disease. Also, your unarmored movement increases again from 15 feet to 20. Mercy monks at level 11 get Flurry of Healing and Harm. During your Flurry of Blows, you can replace each or both of your unarmed strikes with a Hand of Healing at no key cost. Alternatively, you can use one of those unarmed strikes as a Hand of Harm, also at no cost. Secondly, our martial arts die moves up to 1d8, better unarmed strikes, and now you can throw darts and daggers at 1d8 instead of your traditional 1d4. 12th level monks get our final ability score improvement or feat. Again, we'll discuss those near the end of the video. 13th level monks achieve the Tongue of the Sun Moon. You can understand all spoken languages, and any creature that can understand at least one language can understand you. Finally, we hit level 14 of Monk, where our unarmored movement moves up to 25 feet. And thanks to the Diamond Soul, you are now proficient in all saving throws. And if you fail a saving throw, you can spend 1 key point to re-roll that save. For our total throughout this build of ability scores, improvements, and feats, we get 4. If you want to focus on scores, build up your dexterity and your wisdom first. You want those high so that your unarmored defense AC is going to be high. Ideally, if you've been using a standard point array, your AC by now should be about 20, if not higher. After that, if you've already capped both of those, or if you feel like you're in a good spot, go to Constitution. Higher HP is just as good as a higher AC. For feats, there aren't really any good feats that I could think of for this particular build, so just go with the tough feat to increase your HP retroactively per level. What did you think of this video? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, all will be well. Just keep moving forward.